Now, Tiffany, I am. How do I say this? I'm not gonna say I'm a macho stud in trucking.
I knew this about you.
Yes, yes, yes. I'm a macho stud in trucking, and I'm known to drive the the the. Drop the link to her channel in the chat for me, shooter. I'm known to drive some dangerous roads. Let me tell you. Let me tell you how dangerous I get. Okay, because you may think, "Whoa, I got to rethink how dangerous I get," because Sean gets dangerous. I drove roads in Idaho, Oregon. I mean, their temperatures are like -7, -15. I had to chain up one time to go up these mountains. I'm talking about if you're thinking of hard, scary driving, you're thinking. Actually, I even call the area the Badlands. So it really gets through to you how dangerous these roads are. Okay, can you tell me, in comparison to the roads you drive, how badassery am I?
I think you are. I think you're pretty amazing. So first of all, up here in Alaska, one of the
Wow.
things that we really are more cautious when it's like 32 degrees or anywhere from 0 to 32, 34 degrees, because that's actually where it's slickest. So I
Really?
drive in conditions that are -40, wind chill, -70 sometimes up there in Prudhoe Bay. It's actually not as slick as it is in your Idaho at 32 degrees
So I'm more
because
badass than
you've
you.
got what?
I'm more badass than you then.
Absolutely.
Bang!
Take it.
I
You
am
take
more
it.
badass than a ice road trucker. So y'all got to give me
Absolutely.
props for that.
Yeah, you got it. It's
So
all yours.
so let's we have a couple of things that I've slept on, and I had my morning coffee because it's all about wellness. I did my meditations and stuff like that. And
Good for you.
I was thinking, what is the difference between lower 48 and what you do? So can you give me an explanation of your time clock for me?
Like you're talking e-logs and stuff, or
Yes.
like, okay. Um, I'm glad that you asked these questions because for me personally, I've only ever driven in Alaska. I don't know anything about driving in the lower 48. And so I will tell you, and you tell me the difference.
Okay.
Um, I have up to 80 hours in a week that I can work. We have 20 hours a day. We have to reset at for 10 hours, and then we have to obviously take a 34. But we have 15 hours of drive time that we are allowed to do per day. So 15 hours of drive time, 20 hours that we can work, and then you have to take a 10-hour reset. So
That is
I've heard it's different down there.
yeah, so I would I have I have 14 hours a day that I can be on duty period, and I can only drive for 11 hours. And I have to take a 30-minute break at the 8th hour.
So so let me ask you, how do you get anywhere? Like
I mean, our terrain is more forgiving, so I can still do. And this may not seem like nothing to you, but I'm like an awesome driver if I can do 700 miles. If I'm 700 miles, I'm literally like I'm hot stuff.
well, I guess that's also a difference too, because for me, um, it takes me anywhere from 12 to 13 hours just to get to Prudhoe Bay. And now that's 500 miles away.
Yeah, that's insane. That's a long time.
But we have uh 18% grade hills. There's one called the Beaver Slide that is 2 miles long at 9% or 12%. Like it's a huge hill. And fortunately, going north when you're loaded, you're going down it. But heading back south, if you are loaded, you have to go up this hill. It's one of the tough ones actually.
What is the grade? What is it? Because like if I do a 6% grade, I'm free.
Horrible road. The road itself, the conditions of the road itself are never ideal.
It's not
I mean,
paved.
the Dalton Highway?
Yes.
No, no.
How is that? How is that? How is that?
And I will tell you this, my dear, you do not want it paved because when you have paved road, it might be good for maybe a year or two, but come the next year, you've got that permafrost, that thaw and swell from the ice, and your pavement starts looking like this.
Oh,
So
okay.
it's actually better to not have that road paved because they can come in with a blade and they
Mm-hmm.
can
I'm a commercial
clean
truck
it,
driver in
Oh,
Alaska.
okay.
which
Hold
is
on, buddy.
again so
So,
much better.
so you're driving this as as a woman that's driving this. Do you feel like you face a little bit more scariness? Because you were telling me the other day that you're sometimes you have to change the tire.
Is that not something you do?
No, we don't do that at all. Actually, I'm be. I've been driving 12 years. I've never unscrewed a tire bolt ever, not
I
once.
I I got to tell you again, this is one of those situations and scenarios where I don't know anything but what it is that I do. So I have to make sure that whatever happens out there on that road, I'm safe. We're talking 40 degrees with a wind chill of 70 below, right? So if I break down, I'm effed. Like I have to make sure that no matter what happens, I'm safe. I want to get home to my kids, right? So me first, equipment and company second. But um I have to that entails everything from changing the belts and
You're changing
um
belts.
yeah, yeah.
That's Let me tell you something. I'm gonna be real with you. I'm just gonna just be in complete openness. I have no idea how to change a belt on a semi truck at all. At all.
I will post a video sometime when I go through my truck and I put all my tools into my new truck. I'm getting a new truck, but I have
You have
a
tools.
Milwaukee half-inch impact that I bring with me everywhere because when I broke, I this was quite a few trips ago, but the roads were super rough, super rough, more than normal, and I lost an airbag on my steer,
Mm.
and so I had to get out and readjust it.
Really? You mean,
And it
you had to get out and readjust what?
Well, and I should say it wasn't my airbag, it was my shock. So I had overextended the leveling valve on my steer, and
Mm-hmm.
so it kept falling over. You know what I mean? And so I had to pop the hood, take off my leveling valve, reset it, put it back on, and kind of jerry rig it so that I could drive down the road to get home because
So
it,
I want to drive this home to you that what you're saying isn't normal. Let's read a few comments here.
I can't see any
She's
comment.
yeah, because I'm using OBS as well. They're saying she's a superwoman. Holy shit. Does GPS work there?
Great question. No, we have maybe 75% of the Dalton Highway from Fairbanks to Prudhoe Bay is out of service. So you could use if you had a satellite system.
Treatment. You don't have GP. I asked her the other day, y'all. I thought you stop at the TA. She said, "What is that?"
I don't know.
She
I
didn't
just
know
learned
what a.
I just learned about AAA the other day. I go, "What? What is AAA?" Like I don't but yeah, we don't have any sort of service. So from Fairbanks, Alaska, 250 miles north is your first truck stop, and that's Coldfoot, Alaska. And then another 250 miles, you have Prudhoe Bay. That's about it. In between those areas, the only other person that you have available other than yourself is any other driver that might be out there on the road. And that's why I think another thing that's come to my attention is how different the culture is.
Mm.
It doesn't matter how angry you are at someone, how much you hate a person or a company itself. One of the things that I learned when I first started driving out there was, and I quote, "The name on the door, as soon as you leave this yard, doesn't matter." So if I drive for, let's say, Billy Bob, and Jane Doe over here, she's got her own trucking company, but we will be out on that haul road together. If something happens, we're working as a team
Yep.
because we are the culture of the Alaska Haul Road. It's completely different from what I've heard of
Yeah,
down there.
you break down lower 48, no one's stopping, bro. We're told not to. We don't stop
Oh yeah, no,
ever.
no,
Because I
no.
mean,
And
it's that's
here's
insane. You got double A. I said double A. Well, you have TA can come, Loves can come, and they'll come fix your truck. They'll put new airlines on for you. They'll do
Loves.
everything.
Is this like lot lizards Loves, or what are we talking about here?
No, Loves is
company?
another truck stop
Oh well.
that offers roadside assistance. So when you break down, this is what you're supposed to do when you break down. When you break down, you're supposed to send a little message. Hey, look, man, I broke down. Our breakdown division will say, okay, well, they're gonna come and see you. It'll take about an hour to 2 hours. They'll show up. They'll boop, 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 fix your truck, give you a paper to sign. You're down the road, man. That's it. Lovely.
Yeah.
I have never fixed a tire. I've never fixed a belt. I've never fixed the airline ever. And I'm considered a badass. Like, that's crazy.
Yeah. I was so, and I know this is kind of weird, but I was super excited the last time I blew my inner drive tire or inner rear axle inner tire on my drive, because it blew and it actually tore up one of my airbags. It was unfortunate. I had to turn around and head back north or head back south, bobtail. But I was so excited after that because I realized after that tire had been pulled off and changed and all of that, I had everything I needed with me. So I had the bottle jack, I had the airline hoses, I had the my impact is what we used. And I am able to keep that charged too. So I have an inverter in the truck that charges all my battery powered electronics.
Now I have
You know,
that. I have an inverter, but it powers my video game and TV.
yeah.
Like it powers like my video game, TV, and microwave because I have to stay nutritionally sound. So what you're talking about is inhumane. I don't think anyone should be doing that. Like you know what I need you to do? I need you to move to the full 48 so you can have a way easier situation. You would be like a fucking badass down here.
So here's the thing, that I will also tell you that, driving in Alaska does come with benefits, so I've heard, get paid a little bit better for these dangers that we experience and we face. I don't know what the rates are down there, but up here,
I can tell
I've
you.
heard they're actually.
If you were to come down here and be company, you'll be making between 48 and 60 cents a mile. Is that not what y'all make up their company? Give me an average of a company. If I was to come up there, what would be? I would be like just a normal company. What would I get in a mile?
3 times that.
3 times. That's insanity.
But you also got to remember, right? So I'm not going 700 miles in 11 hours, right? I'm lucky if I get to Prudhoe Bay in 12. So, I mean, we really are limited in, how far we can go. This hill, we're talking about something. Some of these hills are cruel. I mean, you are chaining up all year round up here in Alaska. The shelf this last summer, I knew it was nasty. I was getting ready for it. I threw a set of chains just because I'm more of a cautious person. I would rather throw a set of chains down at the bottom where it's somewhat dry than have to worry about throwing a set of chains halfway up it and dealing with all the extra mud.
We're literally told not to throw. I've thrown chains once in 12 years.
Okay. You will flat out not be allowed on the haul road by any company if you refuse to throw chains. You are expected to throw chains regularly. In fact, I've the most that I've thrown in a trip was about 7 times.
That
So,
is
and then,
insanity.
but you get it down, like I can throw a set of chains in about 6 minutes. Like I'm getting it. I'm pro, right? Um, but yeah, and you have to be able to do it year round. So
Let's talk restaurant options because I really like, to stop and eat. So if I'm going to Puerto Bay, right? Is there a Outback Steakhouse? Is there a Chipotle? Is there a Greasy Spoon? What are you eating?
so um you head north. Let's say we start our trip in Fairbanks.
Okay.
Okay. You drive north about 8 miles and you will reach Hilltop Lodge. And they are very famous for their pie. You've actually got bumper stickers all around town. Got the pie at Hilltop, right? Um, and then you go from 8 Mile to 250 mile. And then you've got the Greasy Spoon that is Coldfoot, Alaska.
But what about hold on? What about what's in the middle? There's no McDonald's. There's no Wendy's. There's nothing.
There is a restaurant at the Yukon River Bridge, but their hours are very limited and they cater mostly to tourists. So I don't really go in there. I don't know much about them.
So
But
what if you want to impromptu Red Bull 160 miles into the load?
baby, you got to bring that with you. You got to
Oh
have that with you.
no.
You're not you're not able to
But I
to
need.
get
This is gonna sound so American privilege. I need crushed ice with my Red Bull. Like I can't. I don't understand how you're breathing. This is insane. I couldn't do it. No, absolutely not.
use your inverter and get you an ice maker. Or better yet, guess what? You step outside. I'm sure you can find some ice.
But see, you said use my inverter. My video games were so we complain down here. You just made me feel like I should never complain about driving in America ever. Driving in the lower 48 because you're in America, but
Right.
because
Right.
you're doing this and it's like you're not bigger than me. So how are you throwing chains and fixing tires? And I'm like a big dude. Like, how are you getting this done? And you do flatbed there.
Yes.
That's
Mhm.
insanity.
Yeah. No, I do flatbedding. I haul many different types of equipment though. So I sometimes I'll do bulkers. Um but no, it's a matter of leverage actually because tying down these straps, you've got your standard bar, you
Right.
know. I actually had a welder buddy uh, put two of those together. So I've got the extra additional leverage and I'm able to tighten my stuff down a lot more. That's really the only way I can
So you don't walk
make.
into the truck stop in Crocs and slippers.
Well, no, because that's called, you're at risk of frostbite.
I just can't. Like what you're explaining is hell. This sounds like you drive on Mars. Hold on 1 second. Big Dog just called in. Gold Phoenix, do you have a question for this astronaut driver? 1 second. Gold Phoenix,
Yes, sir.
you ready to sign up, man?
Hey, yo, you got it. Respect. I ain't gonna lie, man. I just got off the phone with a, important phone call, so I'm kind of jumping right back in.
Right.
But from what I've heard from you so far, remind me never to complain about reefer again. I thought, cause I run Canada too, and I thought Canada was rough. It's really not. In comparison, nah,
What
not
is
even close.
so? What is the temperatures in Canada compared to Alaska?
Lowest I've ever felt was like -14. That wasn't in Canada. I was close to the border, but
What is the lowest you've ever felt, Tiff?
We had some wind chills last year that were about -67.
That is insanity.
Jesus.
It's cold. That's cold.
So
I,
what is your
yeah.
let's talk truck setup because obviously your truck is rated different than what we're running. So we go to a regular job, they're gonna give us a 13 liter. They're gonna give us the weakest rear end, no 14,000 fronts. It's gonna be governed at 65 or 61 miles an hour. Yeah, that's about it. There are gonna be chains, but we're
So,
told not to use them. What is your truck setup like?
Okay, so I will tell you my experience up here and what I have driven and what my favorite vehicle to drive is. So, um, when I am not at home, speaking of which, this is my attempt at being a.
You should
I
wrap
brought
those.
you some cookies.
I can't get them, but yeah.
So when I'm not here, I'm in a 389 short nose Pete, 18 speed, 600 Cummins, and
Jeez.
you some of the requirements mandated are you need lockers for both axles, and it's better if you can isolate them because there are times when I'd rather have not all my lockers going, but just my rear or my front axle or my rear axle. So you got to have your lockers in your inner axle. Um, most of our trucks, and actually I can't even say most of our trucks, all of our trucks, when they come from a facility, they're just purchased, they're brand new, they go through a complete overhaul because the reality is that the rubber that's on your truck, for example, down there in Florida or Texas, wherever it might be, you've got a different type of rubber than what we have here because here I still need it to hold air when it is 40 below, 50 below.
What does the tires
And
cost?
what's that?
What does the tire cost? Like I can get a tire down here.
Oh, I'm
regular.
not even talking tires yet. I'm just talking
All the rubber.
airlines
Oh.
and gaskets and all of that stuff. Everything is overhauled because they have to have a low temp
Rating.
rubber rated. Yeah, rated.
So what is
parts.
the horsepower? So you saying your truck is pulling like horsepower, and where's your like our RPMs don't even go up that high.
Well, I'm in a 600 Cummins.
So that's the 16 liter, isn't it? That's Phil. That's the big boy.
Right.
Yeah, we're pulling 13s, man. 13 liters. They can't go up a 4-grade hill. Like
you could make it here. You gotta have the higher gear ratio for sure. But yeah, some of these hills though, you gotta understand. You're looking at there. I think Koyukuk's 15% grade.
How is
Like,
that possible? How are you able to go up that?
So, okay, one of the running jokes up there, if you ever talk about this amongst the other drivers that run the haul road, is that the civil engineer that created and planned out this haul road, his wife was sleeping with a trucker, and that's why it gets
Scrooge all over. Man,
it's just rumor, hearsay, but yeah, no, it is not. It's not built for a truck driver and an ease of friendliness, that's for sure. However, I will say that it's easier to go north loaded than it is for you to go south loaded.
Because you gotta go down the hill.
Because all the hills going south are actually a lot different, and they can be tougher, actually.
There is nothing you said that made me think I'm gonna do this. Everything you said there's no way I would ever do this.
Well, here I was gonna send you an invite.
Oh no! Oh, absolutely not.
You up for a trip?
Hold on, let's
show you something about it.
let's see if Gold Phoenix, if she offered you an invite, would you run? Would you run up there?
How much you trying to pay? Because
she's saying it's triple.
No,
triple.
Approximately. Okay. Every company is a little bit different, but when you give me a number like 30 to 40 cents a mile, that's not what we
So
have.
let's say if you were owner opping, if you were
I'm thinking percentage.
Yeah, if you're owner opping up there, and let's say we're gonna run a 600-mile load, 40,000 pounds. Let's say we're gonna get $2,500 for it. What do you think a load like that runs up there for? Higher?
Oh yeah, I'm not an owner op, but the numbers that I've heard, and I'll let them talk about numbers like that, but no.
See, what I'm trying
Here's
to
what
figure out is what companies are doing that. The only companies I know of up there for real are Carlisle and hell RST even. The only two I could think of.
Yeah, there's definitely more than that. You would have to be up there to know what was going on. That's all we
Yeah,
know.
top secret.
Yeah, we don't know what's going on up there. And how do you move up there? Like, and let's say I'm a dude down here, and you're telling me stuff that's getting me going, and I want to go up there right now. I mean, is there like company sponsored relocation, or can I just put in a job there and they just hook me up?
I mean, I would assume so, possibly, but you'd have to find a company that's willing to take you for um, training. You um, there are a few places that have brought drivers from the lower 48. And I apologize. I hope that doesn't offend anybody by me saying that. I'm just trying to differentiate where I am. But you have to remember that we have a completely different culture up here. So if I see another truck coming down the road,
Mm-hmm.
I slow down. If I'm going 50, I slow way the heck down, and I never pass someone more than 25 or 30. It's a respect thing. You have to know also where all of your blind corners are. There are blind corners up there that you could take someone out. You have to be careful, and you pull out your CB, you call it out on channel 19, southbound 68 mile, or wherever you are, because you're constantly having to communicate out there. We are constantly talking to each other. So
Yeah, that we don't even turn our CBs on.
But yeah, you wouldn't. You have to know that there is. You have to be able to rely on the people that you're with and around. That includes other trucks coming south when you're going north, or vice versa.
So I mean, yeah, that means that y'all are not really interested in us as drivers. We're not considered like what do y'all say about us as drivers? Like when y'all talk about it.
It's different when you come up the first time with somebody who can show you these things.
Right.
But there have been a few people who have come up, and they are, forgive me, but they're super truckers with with a pavement cable chains. I'm sorry, we run. I'm a 7 mil trig person.
I don't know
some
what
of these other drivers,
I
they'll
don't know.
throw 8 mil.
Oh, you mean the thickness of the cable or the chain? I don't even know what you're talking about right now.
We don't have cable chains up here.
What kind of chains?
We've got actual chain, like
oil field chains, like just wrap it around the tire, let it go.
Right.
That's insanity.
Yeah, no, you don't.
So at this point, I'm just thinking, why do you do this to yourself? Like you just need to go to Seattle and live the dream. Like you don't have to do this. Am I wrong, guys, for thinking like, why are you putting yourself through this pain? 1 second, Step Deck Guru just called in. Step Deck Guru.
It's Willis TV.
Is who?
Willis.
Willis. Are you open to leaving Florida and going up here and running this road?
I don't live in Florida, but I thought about running the ice roads. It's come to mind. I like a little challenge.
And from what you hear, you think you can do it?
Yeah. It's going to be a little chilly, a little nippy. Got a little bite to the weather, but hey, I mean, it is what it is.
Right.
He said nippy. No, bro. -60.
Yeah, it got a little bite to it. It got a big bite to it.
That's the temperature. You don't go outside to pee. Like you've got to make it work in your truck.
Because so you're going to freeze midstream.
Yeah.
That is sick.
Shoot. And here's the other thing too. We have weather conditions up here. For example, you get caught in a blow, what we call a blow, and you are not seeing the end of your truck. The hood of your truck is lost in everything that's flowing by your truck because the wind is so bad, and all it's doing is kicking up snow, and it's coming all the way through Canada. Everything from Canada to where you are halfway through the state is blowing out in front of you, and you can't see anything further than your hood. And you have to find a way to make it safely either off the road or park somewhere where nobody will hit you if they try to travel through it. Because at any point in time, somebody could come up behind you and ram right into the back. Like it's yeah,
Yeah, it
it's
sounds to me like
suspenseful.
it is flat out no go. I'm telling y'all right now, for me, it's a no. And when they said 060 would have said no, I have to chain more than once a month, I would have said no. No, I gotta have tools. I don't fix my truck. I'm not doing that. I'm against it. I'm not fixing nobody's truck. None of that.
Well, Sean, let me just jump in here really quick and tell you that it's not always like that. Okay, it's not always like that. And I
Okay.
don't want people to think that it's traumatic every time. It's not. Like the last couple times I've gone up, I did actually spin out on a hill. That freaked me out. I had to go throw a set of chains real quick because you don't want to go backwards, right? So that kind of stuff can be intimidating.
Yeah, yeah. I would have died.
But 20 miles north, I come across a massive herd of caribou. And I'm watching these guys roam around. There's babies everywhere and they're having fun. This time of year, muskox, huge, massive muskox. They look like those creatures out of Star Wars, with big long hair, and
Everything
they're
you're
up roaming around
you're,
on the side of the road just checking you out. Like,
you're adding reasons for us not to go. These are not good reasons. You're saying we don't want to see muskox and none of that. Like you can hit one of those.
Okay, I've got one.
All right.
Fox, Fairbanks,
Yeah.
about 5 miles north is the Fox Scale.
Okay.
From the Fox Scale, 5 miles north of Fairbanks, 495 miles north to Prudhoe Bay and back, you do not have a scale house.
Now that's dope. So no, because we're seeing
I give you something.
we're seeing at least 7 scale houses a day.
Yeah, no, you don't have that. Occasionally they'll have a pop-up
Right.
somewhere around Coldfoot, but either way, we're constantly communicating with each other. Hey, there's a pop-up scale over here. Be ready for it. Truck drivers will tell you, because the communication is so prevalent up there.
Hold on. King D-Raj.
Yes.
Can we sign you up to go to Alaska?
Yes, you can.
You would do
Tiffany. Yeah. Only because now, if you would have called me 2 years ago, I'd have said no. But doing what I do now, and I don't do -70, but I've been in, I was probably -30, where the car manufacturers test, the code on their cars and stuff.
it. Mm-hmm.
So I've been there, and you got to turn your PTO on like 2 hours before you're about to unload. So but
you think this prepared you for Alaskan Road?
yes, and after a while, I want a new challenge. You know what I'm saying? What she's saying is like, I just want to see, can I do it? Now I ain't saying I'm gonna do it full time. I would like to come up there and spend a month. Thanks if I would do that.
D-Raj, I know you personally, and I know you're not gonna do it, bro. I know you're not gonna do this.
I'm going. I'm sending Tiff an email, and we're gonna talk. Y'all gonna see D-Raj in the code, dreadlocks and all,
So why don't you
doing
just
push-ups.
So we're not gonna say her company name, but just hit Tiff, go to her company,
yeah.
and she can train you.
Yeah. That's what I said. That's why I wanted to get to know her. I mean, to say, hey, it's me. But I will hit her up and see what we could do.
That would
when is the best? When is the best time to come?
Well, what do you want to throw chains? Do you want to deal with the ice road? Do you want to?
I really don't want. No, I don't want to. I don't want to throw chains. But after listening to you, I'm not sexist, but I can't let you outdo me. So I gotta throw some chains if that's what I gotta do. You know what I'm saying? Because I want to.
Summertime is the roughest time of year.
Really?
Believe it or not. So you've got multiple seasons up there. Summertime is actually some of the worst driving because the roads are so rough. They're so potholed. You've got
Yeah.
sinkholes that are the size of a Volkswagen.
Jesus
Like
Christ.
you got to make sure you watch out for that shit.
Right.
Wintertime, it's actually pretty smooth road.
Yeah.
However, you're going to be dealing with the hills being slick as heck. So
Right.
there's give and take for each. You got to figure out
Right.
which one you're
This
willing to deal
fool
with.
is not. He does not
So
have the
are they
cojones
willing
to
to
go up.
train me? All right, because I haven't. Now I've done some work on my truck because I am a owner operator. So sometimes you got to do because you ain't about to pay all that money. So would they? I don't know everything how to fix a truck. So is that a bad thing? You know what I'm saying? Like, I can watch YouTube now. I get on YouTube and figure it out.
Do they
That's-
have training up there? Do they like pay you for training somebody?
I mean, yeah, if you run with someone, but first of all, sir, you don't have any internet access for about 75% of this trip. So your YouTube options are very limited.
Well, no,
Um,
you gotta download it first. Anything possible that could happen, you gotta download it
Sure.
first.
Yeah. You've got the hard drive for it. You do you. For sure.
It doesn't. Hold on. Okay, so let's get this right, D-Raj. So, all right, because you're saying this in front of 200 people, and
Uh-huh.
they're gonna expect to see the video. So you're gonna get trained by her. You're gonna call the company, get trained by her, and you think you can. I'm telling you, and I'm gonna tell her I want it raw. Don't help him out. If it sucks, say that it sucks. I want to see the worst shit possible.
Is she willing to train me?
If it's not me, it'll be somebody way more experienced. I've only been up
Okay.
there for 2 years. I've got 2 years on
Okay.
that road.
Oh, down here we can train in 6
So-
months. You're perfect. You can do it. Yeah, you're perfect. 1 second, D-Raj. We have someone who else has driven the Alaskan road, and we don't believe you. So 1 second. Shooter Brown.
Shooter Brown.
What's going on? What's going on? Can y'all hear me?
We can hear you. You're even a little loud. Let me crank you down a little bit here. All right.
It's my AirPods, my bad.
I've been mad at you for about a year
I know it's coming.
because I felt like we're not gonna say where I live, but I felt like when I went up there, when I was living up there in the cold a little bit, you went to Alaska just to one up me.
Well, see, here's the thing about me and your relationship, right, bro? Like, I have to. It's my duty as the older brother
Oh,
to
God,
make
yeah.
sure that, okay, boom. He's like, okay, I'm getting out of here. I'm moving somewhere cold. I said, all right, cool beans. He's out. You know what I mean? Where you going? He told me where you're going. Okay, cool.
Negative
I said, well,
15.
Yeah. He told me, oh, it's negative 15 up here, this, that, and the third. And I said, man, look, how about, I didn't tell you this, but I thought to myself, how can I outdo this? Okay.
Jesus Christ.
I have to, if you go do something, you went and got a job or whatever, I joined the army because I had to just, one, you know what I'm saying? So I ended up going to Alaska because I knew there's nowhere else. Like, you can't top that.
No,
You know what I mean?
it's up
you can't- you
Siberia or
can't-
something.
Yeah, you can't top that at all. So I had to go to the outer realm and do that.
Now,
And
did you,
that's why I met Tiffany. Tiffany helped me out so much up there. I just wanted to say thank you because she really squared me away on that road. You know what I'm saying? And you talking about, like, she's humble. Okay, I'm just gonna let everybody know she's extremely humble. That road is dangerous.
is
Okay,
it?
we're not gonna.
Yeah,
we're
because
not gonna-
you're from down here. She's gonna tell us
Yeah.
the Alaskan lie. You tell us from being down here, born in the South, where you seen daisies in Jesus's face. What
Yeah.
are you thinking when you're on this Alaskan road?
It has a pucker factor of decimal point. I'm just gonna put it like that.
So you were
Okay?
scared. You got time where you were clinching.
Yeah, I almost died on that road like 3 times. Okay, and I sit there and I talk to her about it, and she's like, you know what? Yeah, it happens. Glad you made it. I'm like, what you mean? Like,
Glad you made it.
she's super cool. You know what I mean? And the thing about it is about that road is that, yeah, you can you could. I have my GPS. Okay, let me tell you something. You ain't getting lost because you're not turning nowhere. You're not going anywhere. It's one way up, one way down. I had the GPS on, and she gave me crap about it. She was like, "Why you got a GPS? Like you're not turning." I was like, "Yeah, but I used it because the GPS, even though there's nowhere to turn, you can see the
The
turns,
curve of the road.
the curves."
Like a pacifier.
Yeah, and trust me, when you're coming from Fairbanks and you're on the Elliott, see, because you got to go from Fairbanks, then you're on the Elliott. The Elliott takes you to the Dalton. Okay, the Elliott itself, and it's paved. Okay, it's dangerous. All right, like it's a paved road most of the way.
But Tiffany's doing it with no problem. Like I'm
She's
confused.
because she's a
So-
gangster. Like I don't like.
Shooter, I got a story for you. I just got a text message last night. Somebody said, "Are you out trucking?" And I said, "No, I'm at home tonight. I'm doing
Yeah.
some stuff tomorrow." And they said, "Oh, thank goodness it wasn't you on 1 mile." And I went, "What? What's going on?" Well, somebody had driven a tanker up 1 mile, spun out, and they went backwards down the hill into another truck behind him. Ended up being a
Jesus
3-truck
Christ.
pile up there at 1 mile Dalton.
See,
Now-
and I know exactly what you're talking about. You go,
So-
as soon as you hit the Dalton, it's right there.
Yeah, and fortunately, everyone survived. It wasn't. There were no fatalities. But and frankly, let's be real. Those hills you are not climbing very fast.
No.
You're going maybe 12, 15 miles an hour, depending on what you're hauling. But
Mhm.
yeah, there's some scenarios up there that you.
So let's because maybe we've done doom and gloom. What are we? Average driver in America is making $46,000 a year. What is the average driver in Alaska making?
Okay, well, I don't know about the average driver, but like when I was there, you gotta understand that I was basically on the owner op side. You know, I was leasing a truck. So, and then I was like, okay, well, for the five, it's basically $10 a mile
Jeez,
for owner operators.
fucking
You-
Christ!
And that's actually kind of conservative because running from Fairbanks to Prudhoe as an owner operator, you probably like average maybe $5-6 grand a run.
And how many days does it take to do that?
Well, it's a 2-day trip regardless. If you're on it, like, and the weather's good and there's no cataclysmic chain of events that keeps you sitting still.
So
Right.
owner
It's
operator can
1
be
day up, 1 day back.
so owner
Yeah.
operator can be $2,500 to $3,000 a day. Now, Tiffany, from a company driver standpoint, our company drivers are making $45,000 a year. What is the company drivers making a year up there?
I will tell you this.
50, 60?
No. I really don't want to throw all these numbers at you guys and not explain to you that our housing market is ridiculous. It's through the roof. You pay $5 to $6 for a gallon of milk. Okay. So keep in mind, cost of living here is so much higher. Okay. But for doing 2 trips a week, I would be a driver, maybe not me, but any other driver, 2
Right.
trips a week, you'd be averaging anywhere from 90 to 100,000 a year.
That's
2 trips a
insanity.
week. But you can do 3.
So if you did 3, you're looking at 120, 130. That is insanity,
Yeah.
bro. And I mean, the average driver in America right now is anywhere from 45 to 58,000, and they're spitting in your face when they give you that. They only want to give you that.
And then another thing that people don't take into account too is that, like, yeah, okay, I'll say the owner operators, they're getting $5 or $6 grand a run, right? Let's say that's a general window, $4 to $6 grand a run. Let's just say that, right? Okay, so that's about 3 runs. That's about what, 18 grand top side a week gross. But you got to understand that the cost of fuel up there is outrageous. There's no roadside assistance. If you need a tow back and like you don't, if you're owner operator, so you know it's just you, but there's other drivers up there too, and they'll probably get you back. But if you actually need a tow truck like a wrecker, I heard, I've never seen it, but I heard that even from Coldfoot, and that's the halfway point, you're looking at about $20,000, $20,000.
Were you up there when that truck went in the ditch on Adigan?
Yeah, I was there. I heard about it. I didn't see it.
So the recovery for that truck alone was 40,000.
That is
Yeah.
insanity.
So
Because it's crazy.
so we can be giving you all these numbers, and they may sound like a gold mine and this wonderful, amazing opportunity, but keep in mind you
The
pay
cost.
for repairs and recovery, and
That would
you know,
Tiffany, that would take logic. They're immediately thinking you're driving a G-Wag. Like they don't want to hear that. They want to know that you're balling out of control. You drive a dually. You got $700 cowboy boots. Like they're just hearing 90 grand for. That's insane. And but see, I don't know why I've never thought of Alaska as being expensive. I don't think of Alaska as being expensive, but apparently it's expensive.
well, everything that is here isn't manufactured here. So how does it get up here? We truck it or we barge it up. So everything that's here, there you've got the markup value for all the shipping and overhead costs of getting it up here.
Oh, so a gallon of gas is like right now if you went to go fill your car up, your gallon of gas is like
So,
what?
My gallon for my fuel for my vehicle here in town is about $4.50 right now.
$4.
gallon.
Oh.
$4.50. Yeah. But you go to Prudhoe Bay where they truck it all up
Mm-hmm.
for diesel alone, you're looking at $9 a gallon.
That is insanity.
Because I had to pay that actually. When I went up because in the trucks that we had at said organization,
Right.
the fuel tanks weren't large like the ones on like her truck, you know, the trucks of the people who belong on that road. Okay, I ran that. I'm gonna keep it real with you. I ran that road in a Volvo automatic. Okay.
It's like
You wanna know about having a set of brass ones, okay? Like she told me, all the rest of the guys up there told me, they were like, "You're the brave one. I would not run that up this road."
Did you have
Ever.
the correct rubber on the truck?
No,
But see, that's funny because the person we're talking about without saying their name said he got it from the factory. It was Alaska rated.
they're talking about the wall insulation, okay? and maybe you got a couple extra horsepower, right? But what I didn't have, I'm gonna tell you what I didn't have. I didn't have double lockers. I wasn't able, and obviously since I didn't have double lockers, I couldn't switch between lockers. I didn't have enough horsepower. Okay, she just told you what her horse is running. I mean, the horsepower her truck is running. I was in a V&L 860 automatic.
But so how was
Okay.
it? So how was it Alaska rated then? How did he tell us it was Alaska rated if it wasn't?
Because I don't know. Maybe that's what they told him at the dealership. But apparently the dealership, there were no Alaskans at that dealership.
Oh,
okay?
right. Like
Because-
that shit was made in Mexico, yo. Like, yo. Give me extra padding.
Exactly.
Oh, that's insane,
Exactly.
bro. Listen, we're gonna definitely do more content. Actually, I gotta shut it down. But listen,
Okay.
we're gonna set up some more content, and y'all gotta tell me what y'all want her to record from the lower 48 standpoint. Y'all gotta get in there and tell me like what is it y'all are trying to see. Because to be honest, I don't really know what to ask for. It just sounds like something no one should do to me. I don't know what angle to actually ask. Like, do y'all want to see a GoPro video of her driving down the big hill? Do you want to see the breakdowns? Do you want to see? Y'all tell us that, and I can try to put a request in for her to get that.
Or just
kind
life
of
in Alaska.
content. You know, that's see, you said something simple and no one's simple. They want to know the nitty of the gritty. They want to know exactly, because our trucks freeze up at 20 degrees. Like your
Well, that's
truck
because
is
y'all running down here. We're running number 2 diesel, that green stuff. I thought something was wrong with the pump when I was there because the diesel was clear.
clear diesel.
You see what I'm saying?
So, and here's the difference too. Like, I don't know anything about that. I've never heard of lovers or
It's
what was
loves.
it,
It's love. Yo, she's disrespecting our truck stop.
I've never heard of these things. AAA, that was a whole new concept for me. Some of these things that we do up here are just because we know we have to do them. One of the things that I do that I found out that was not normal for you guys was we put zip ties on our antennas because when we run through ice fog, you're going to get
Oh, yeah.
completely coated in ice. It's like you get a sheen and you can't see through. So it'll mess up your radio. So we automatically, every truck we get in, make sure that there's zip ties on our radios. That's just standard for us.
Yeah.
I don't know that
The
you
ice
guys
up there is an
you guys don't do
organism.
that.
Yeah,
What's that, Shooter?
I've never put a zip tie
I,
on.
I was saying that the ice up there, like the road itself is a living thing. Okay, you're riding the back of a dragon. Like that's just what it is. And then like the ice, it's like
Parasitic
it's
ice.
a
I'm a
living
commercial
thing.
truck driver in
Yeah,
Alaska.
it's
While I do drive-
dangerous. You gotta. I went up there and I had to. I was picking up a trailer, and the whole braking system was just frozen. And then when you're winching it to get the landing gear up, I had to have a torch to melt the ice, and heat up the metal so you could turn it. Like it's brutal. Okay, and you're out there and it's windy. I'm up in Prudhoe. The wind chill is -110, and the wind is blowing at 30 miles an hour. You can only be out there for freaking like 10, 15 seconds at a time before you got to get back in the truck, geared up. Like I got pictures. I'll send you some pictures, bro. You know what I mean?
So there's no guys from Persia with the gold chain and their taco meat is out and they're just walking around in slippers and everybody's happy. None of that's going on. Now listen, like I said, I have another meeting, but I do want to get this out before we get off of here.
Okay.
1 second, I need her by herself, Shooter.
Bye, Shooter.
This is he'll be fine. He's good. This is Dalton Darling is the name of the channel. I just posted her link in the chat. I'm also going to post the link under the video, and I'm going to post another link to the community for y'all to find her. Now, let's give her an introduction into these subs of these guys that are coming. They're going to be pushy because everything you just explained, they're going to want to see that in video form.
You guys let me know what it is that you want to see, and I will get it, because I tell you, I throw change just about every trip. You want me to teach you how to do that? I'll show you. You want to learn about some of these hills? I hit them every trip, so I can show you. There are some things that are different each time, whether it be the wildlife or, that ice fog that we're talking about, or blow, but I'll give you whatever it is that you guys would want to learn about.
Let me
know.
Let me throw a couple out right now. How to throw a chains in Alaska. How to prepare your food for the Alaskan road. So we want to know what your meal prep situation is like.
Well, you hit McDonald's. Oh, wait, no.
Y'all don't have McDonald's.
I know. That's
Exactly. We want to know what's in your tool bag. What's in my tool bag for the Alaskan road? Okay. We want to know what's the difference in clothes. Are you just going to Walmart and getting little, we need to know what that is. Like, I didn't know what baselines were. So we need an explanation on your baselines. We need to know what kind of boots you're doing. Are there snow boots? Well, your gloves different. What makes your gloves different? Maintenance of the truck's always good. Any breakdown, we want anything that where you had a bad day, we want.
Okay.
And when she's saying she's gonna do it, when she posted, I'm gonna drop it in the community. But y'all need to sub to her channel immediately, because we're gonna get a first-hand look with a Alaskan driver that is a friend of the other channel, so we can get a first. Because usually when we see y'all stuff is over edited and it's like you're not telling us the real stuff. Like, we want to know the real stuff. Oh yeah, inside of those truck stops, I want to see what these Leatherfoot and stuff places look like.
Okay.
They have to
All
go
right.
to the channel to see it, sub to her. She's killing it. I thank you for coming so much, Tiffany.
Thank you for having me.
No problem. We have a meeting Monday. I hope you will attend for us to discuss what we
Yep.
want.
Yep. And I have some homework to do before then. So
Definitely. Don't do drugs. Be happy. I'm going to go ahead on and get out of here. I appreciate you for coming.
all right. Bye, you guys. Thanks for watching.
Goodbye. That was Tiffany. Tiffany was showing us the real. She was showing us the real freaking deal. Man. Hey. Didn't I tell you I had somebody, man? Didn't I tell you I had somebody? We are breaking ground at the Trucker Brown channel. Different content, different things. I hope you enjoyed talking to Tiffany. We will have her back. Hopefully y'all sub for us to see these crazy Alaskan Road videos. Do not do